Everybody, welcome back to What Elon Said. Today is Wednesday, April 27th, and we have a few tweets from Elon and likes and etc. So we will jump right into it. So first up here, we have a tweet from late yesterday, a retweet from Elon about SpaceX's launch. Weather is 90% favorable for tomorrow's Falcon 9 launch of Dragon and the crew 4 astronauts. So there was a live webcast that started in the middle of the night. I did catch some of that. It was some. It's very like 24-hour news channel. That's
I
a
know.
couple folks out there with like all this NASA gear on, and it's I don't know. There's the space community. I think is just so exciting
Uh,
and
yeah, they're like, this is the
spirited.
real stuff. So forget this Twitter stuff. We're all and the thing I think most amazing about this launch was that they literally just brought back a crew like 2 days ago,
Yeah,
and now they're bringing another crew up. They've never had two sort of at the same time, where it's just one right after the other. I thought that was amazing.
yeah. I mean, I
So
think they're up into the 20s now of the number of astronauts that they've brought up.
yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah,
so. But usually it's like 6 months between, but now they're starting to like crank them.
yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, and so, I mean, we'll kind of roll through this because this is sort of occurred over the night, and this was just Elon retweeting SpaceX, NASA tweets. Here's the 4 astronauts. They're set to launch to our orbiting laboratory on April 27th at 3:52 a.m. Um, then, kind of thrown in the middle of this is this picture posted of Raptor 2 rocket engines at Starbase, each producing over 500,000 pounds, 230 tons of force. And that is just
Yeah.
a imposing picture there.
Yeah, it really is. At first they look like robots with the red thing on top, like looks like they're coming for us. But
Yeah.
then that is just a lot of power right there. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So
as I looked at it, it kind of just seeped in, over the seconds, minutes that I was looking at it. Like, I cannot believe that we've condensed this much power into these. These
yeah,
don't look that big. I mean, they're probably as tall as a person, maybe, but it's
yeah.
they're pretty condensed, compared to I think past models.
I think so. It would be good to have a person standing next to it to get a sense of
Yeah, for
scale.
sure.
But
Um,
yeah, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. So it's coming off the line. They're starting to crank them out. So it's good stuff.
and like 33 of these things in a single Starship booster.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Once that starship can't everyone can't wait for that starship to start. That's gonna be whoo.
yeah.
Everyone's suddenly gonna be like, whoa, something's happening here.
I also think that this picture is sort of confirmation that yep, we're getting the production line going and like fixed because he had some concerns. Gosh, was that earlier this year or late last year
Yeah,
when he was
they're
like all
they're
hands
having
on deck? Let's go.
definitely some design issues. So it'll be interesting to see as they go.
Yeah. And here's just a inspirational message for Aspera
Yeah,
ad Astra. So I think that
yeah,
should be like the motto of SpaceX,
yeah. I love the start our everyone's greeting should be that from now on.
Yeah. But Baby Doge here, just translating that is a late Latin phrase meaning through hardships to the stars.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Someone must have said it at the meeting, and he's like, "I like it." Yeah, here we have SpaceX. We have watch Falcon 9 launch Dragon and the crew 4 astronauts. So that's more of the promotional launch that they're having. But I like how they have the crew
Yeah.
4 launch, and they have this is like the video screenshot. I'm sure it looks like they're about to land on the moon, but that's not the
Mhm.
case.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some great, like, content creators working there as well,
Yeah,
just putting together
it,
all these montages and inspirational videos. Pretty cool.
their coverage is always very interesting. It's not just the usual rundown of the rudimentaries. They get you excited about other launches. They talk about
Yeah.
a lot of the science behind it. It's very informative, and the host is always very pleasant.
Yeah, I agree. I'll say it again that I think we should all strive to be more like astronauts. You know,
Yes.
like they're just very science driven, um, achievement driven, and also like look past personal differences for the greater mission. And they're
Absolutely.
all working together up there in the space station, not squabbling over like country lines and stuff.
Yeah.
So just further update here. This was from this morning. Crew 4 on orbit, and just a brief clip of the astronauts there in Dragon using the touchscreen, I guess like navigational systems. Very cool stuff.
Hmm.
We have here also an article from Teslarati that SpaceX aces the 7th astronaut launch in less than 2 years.
Wow.
Like you said,
That's pretty
man, it
good.
is rolling now. We
It is rolling, and I'm sure they could do more if there were places to bring the astronauts. So right now they're just doing max of what's asked of them. I'm
yeah.
sure they could keep cranking them out. So they obviously have 2 dragons, or they have 4 dragons, I think.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But it's gonna to your point, it's gonna be hard to keep bringing people up there before Starship is really able to bring huge like infrastructure up there to
That's
house
right.
these people
One leads
or
to
to the
the
moon.
other, to the moon. Yes.
But it is just it's now at a point where it feels very consistent. And whether it is people or equipment that's going up, I think it's not going to slow down,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the momentum will get pretty exponential pretty quickly, I think.
10 years from now, we'll be like, wow, those the early days.
Yeah. They were so slow there. Why was there only one company
Yeah.
doing it? What's going on there?
Was one launch every month or so?
Yeah, I understand.
That's like a plane at the airport. Every 10:32 is delayed. What?
Mhm.
I had to
Yeah.
catch the 12:32. Okay.
Oh, man, we can dream of exciting times to come, but it's starting to feel more and more real every day. So
That's
here we
right.
have Michael Sheets saying SpaceX has now sent up 26 people to orbit since its first human spaceflight less than 2 years ago. It looks like Crew 4 astronauts have a couple of zero-G indicators with them, stuffed turtle and monkey toys.
Nice. I always like that.
Yeah, he
Little
liked
things
that
floating
too.
around.
And just one more, I think that he liked, or no, two more. We got NASA tweeting that Freedom takes flight. 3 NASA astronauts and 1 ESA astronaut lifted off from NASA Kennedy aboard SpaceX Dragon Freedom. And their expected arrival time is about 15.5 hours from now. To me, just watching some of these launches and stuff, it's so fascinating just how mathematical and calculated all of these movements are. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is rocket science. It's fascinating to me. I
It
mean,
is
they
pretty good.
they set it
15.
all out to the second, really, and you can
Yeah,
track the meter down below the video. It's crazy.
it is. It really is. And
And yeah,
15 hours really is for them to align more than anything with it
yeah,
to catch the same speed as the space station.
hmm
Once they're going full speed, it takes them 90 minutes to circle the earth, and they just keep doing it over and over and over.
yeah. So it's like inching a little bit closer um,
That's right.
to the space station that whole time. Meanwhile, yeah, looping around the Earth every 90 minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so last up on the SpaceX front, we have Starbase Gateway to Mars. It's such an unreal experience in real life. And this was like 3 or 4 starships and a booster.
Yeah, I always like that shot. It's great.
Yeah, totally.
More to come. All
All
right,
right,
good
Mark,
Starship.
over to you for Twitter
All
content.
right, now the real news, not that space stuff.
It's
The
like, who
important
cares
stuff.
about all those
Who
rocket
cares about
launches and
that?
whatnot?
You sent it to me when the slide is very small.
Oh yeah, well let me get us going and get that bigger there.
Yeah, do
There we
Twitter
go.
mode. So we have first from Sir Doge of the Coin. Basically we had Elon's post saying, free speech, blah, blah, blah. And I want just free speech for all. And then they have all the media saying, this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Mhm.
It's it's pretty funny. Like one side is saying that the freedom of the press people are saying that it's dangerous to have free press, free dialogues, unless the press is actually saying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I
Exactly.
take it. And then Elon said, "Can someone please give the NPCs a bigger dialogue here, dialogue tree?"
Yeah. I don't know if you saw some of the comments, but there was one video montage of like every news network and local news channel saying this. This is extremely
That's
dangerous to our democracy.
dangerous.
And it was like, this is extremely
Yeah, it's
wild, man. I mean, they're it's like a unified front against Elon and this move. I just like
it's crazy. I
lot
mean,
of rage out there right now. A lot
yeah,
of rage.
they're worried about violence being incited, which I think they're going to regulate that. I
Yeah.
don't think Elon's going to let that go wild, and fake news, and that's what they're worried about also. And I also think there'll be ways to regulate that. I think a
Mhm.
lot of worry about them. Could they? What they say is only the approved thing from the media.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is kind of
it's
funny.
fitting into their box and their image of what a news anchor or presenter should be, right?
That's
And
right.
Twitter basically, when you think about it, makes like every individual a news reporter in some ways.
That's
I
right.
mean, other social media platforms do
Not
that to some
no
extent as
editor
well.
though,
What?
like the news. But yeah, there's no editor like the news. But yes.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I think in the same way that YouTube makes everyone a possible content creator and uh,
And news
entertainment
reporter.
or even news creator in that way. Um, same. Twitter is more of like printed news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
so
I
it'll be
don't know.
interesting how
Maybe
it goes.
it might have the status quo shaking in their boots. The
Oh my god, the New
industry.
York Times yesterday had like 4 editorials about how bad it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's like
Wow.
a wall of worry. But I like the next slide. The one of the people, one person's post
Hmm. Hmm.
that this Elon liked this one, the dad joke. A lumberjack went into a magic forest to cut a tree. Upon arrival, he started to swing at the tree, and then he shouted, "Wait, I'm a talking tree!" Then it shouted. The lumberjack grinned and said, "And you will die a log." Dun dun.
And I immediately went and followed dad jokes. Dad
That's
says
it.
jokes. No, I thought that was a great one. There's
That's
always
good.
an element of humor sprinkled in with
Yes,
Elon, and I think that also adds to people hating him. That
that's. I know.
he's sort of sarcastic or trivial about some of these serious things.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna hear the anger for a couple of weeks, and then a year from now, everyone will be like, "Oh, I guess it wasn't that bad."
Yeah, be like,
Hopefully, I'm
yeah.
optimistic.
Well, we'll see. We're gonna get to some other tweets that probably ruffled some feathers as well on the Twitter front.
Yes.
But we have Aaron Levy here saying Elon Musk has decided he'd like to be the only human that can be called to Congress for up to 63 different topics. Elon thinks he's a superstar for that one.
Yeah,
Got a
that's
kick
very
out of
good.
it though. Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, I do feel like it's choppy waters to go into, like we talked about yesterday. Social media endeavor.
Yeah, and here's where he gave a little caveat to it's not like going to be the Wild West.
Yeah,
I think this is where he's saying, "Calm down." He
right.
said the extreme antibody reaction from those who fear free speech says it all. And I like that word antibody. That they're like they think he's a disease. Free speech is a disease. Um, and Elon followed up saying, "By free speech, I simply mean that which matches the law. I'm against censorship that goes beyond far beyond the law. If people want less free speech, they will ask government to pass laws to that effect. Therefore, going beyond the law is contrary to the will of the people."
Mm,
So he's saying that don't create laws to stifle more free speech. The way it is right now and is preferable. So we
mhm,
can't legalize free speech away. So he's afraid that you know government law and also private company law like Twitter destroys free speech.
mhm. Yeah, so a little bit of insight into his political philosophy as well as his plans here for Twitter. But
Yes.
also, this is a message that he has reiterated all along the way. Ever since
Oh
he
yeah.
even before he tossed out the idea of acquiring Twitter. And
Yes.
this is where I feel like folks make immediate guttural reactions without actually dissecting the words that the man says.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it, it's it it's in it shows what we've become, I guess, in our modern media society. It's like, and maybe people have always been like that, but I don't know. Like there have been past politicians that I feel like have really ruffled feathers too, including mine. But when you listen to the words, I really had a real problem with them, and they weren't consistent, and they were irrational in some cases, and I don't know, could argue dangerous or whatever else. With Elon, I see that he's very consistent with his message that he wants to take actions for the good of humanity, and he's laid out why he thinks this is an action in line with that.
I I agree. And going back to the other slide, that where the media was outraged. I think flying to free speech here, free speech should not be regulated by the law because I don't know. I'm just going to say that like the whole Trump era thing, Trump was a crazy man on Twitter, but especially back then, a couple of years ago, not a lot of people were on Twitter. Still a lot of not people are on Twitter,
Mhm.
but the media is the one that made Trump's presence on Twitter so popular because everything he said, they reported on TV as if it was breaking news.
Mhm.
Like he tweeted, and then it was basically he had free news coverage.
Yeah.
So it wasn't Twitter doing it; it was the media repeating what he said to everyone.
Well, also, I think they did that because they knew that it was abrasive to a lot of people, and it caught eyes and drew in attention.
Yeah, yeah. So they
What their business
spurred. If they
model
just
is.
ignored it, then it wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
Yeah. But this is now his pinned tweet. So again, reiterating that he believes in free
Ah,
speech within the limits of the law.
that's pretty good. So he's stressing everyone that it's not going to be the Wild West
Yeah.
as much as people think. That's good.
Um, so here's a few other tweets related to the Twitter move that will probably upset some people without,
Uh
that I don't know. People are going to start politicizing this or already have.
huh.
So we have a tweet here. Vijaya God, the top censorship advocate at Twitter, who famously gaslit the world on Joe Rogan's podcast and censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, is very upset about the Elon Musk takeover. There's a headline here that the top lawyer reassures staff, cries during meeting about Musk takeover. And Elon responds here and says that suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate. So I am sure that just blinded a lot of people into making a decision, and they're not going to look at anything else because
Yeah,
we've now
the,
roped
the,
in a very divisive political figure
he's
into
very
this.
divisive. I don't know why he did that. Like it's interesting. I mean, I hope sometimes it's calculated, but it seems weird. And like what he's saying there is it was a little more nuanced than what he's saying there. Like at the time, no one really knew if it was a truthful story.
Yeah.
The initial story didn't really provide clear cut support, and that came out later. It was
Hmm.
a story, but it wasn't definitive, and that's why a lot of people were against it. I feel at first because it wasn't it was true in the end, but they didn't have enough evidence to show it was fully true.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. Like it was kind of hard to make that call at the time.
I know,
I don't know
and
why I don't know why he posted this.
I just think this is an example of some of the struggles that he's underestimating right now. That
Yeah,
times will get tense again, and you will have a platform with a lot of eyes and a lot of opinions and stuff, and you may add to the boiling over of madness in the society. So you have to.
he's sort of. I think he's approached the rock star status where people used to complain when Bruce Springsteen and others made political speeches during their concert when they spoke to the audience,
Yeah.
and everyone's just you say just play the music.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think
yeah,
now they're
exactly.
saying just build your rockets.
Yeah. Um, well, at this point, I mean, with the next few here, not including this one, but we'll see a couple others. I almost feel like he's at a point where, like, you know what? I'm just gonna prod the left now, and just
Yeah,
anger them because they're
I know.
so mad about this.
I think so. He's needling them.
Yeah.
Um, Here we have just a light one that he liked, just like really saying this is going to be great. It really just says, Elon buying Twitter is a great win for free speech and will probably change the trajectory of the world in more
Mhm.
ways than people realize. So he just liked this positive affirmation here.
Yeah.
Not
I
too
mean,
much
I
to
think
go
it
over with it.
also indicates his where some of his focus is when it comes to just general ideas, right? So he liked Jack Dorsey's. Now he's liking Brian Armstrong, who is the founder and CEO of Coinbase. Uh, and there's been some
Was a
others
big
too, which kind of indicates to me like, okay, see, these are some of the voices that he respects and that he might follow, and he appreciates their support.
Yes. Brian Armstrong is definitely a free market, free speech person.
Okay, I don't know any background to that, but
Yeah, he's had a lot of with Coinbase, a lot of pushback on the way he operates because it's freewheeling.
hmm,
He won't recant what he says, kind of things like that.
interesting.
But and then we have Jonah Kreider, who we've seen before. I forget who this is. I don't know if you remember
Uh,
who this is.
she's a creator of sorts and
Uh,
just a advocate for Tesla and Elon Musk, basically on Twitter.
so so here's a another reiteration back to what Elon said. Um,
Hmm.
that he said during his TED talk that it's just really important that people have both the reality and perception that they're able to speak freely within the bounds of the law. So, as you said before, he's consistent. This is the theme he's had across the whole time.
Yeah, and reality is what matters. Perception be damned. Is also
That's
another
right.
line of his. Okay, we got to that one. So here we start, going down the sort of political rabbit hole, I'd say. But we have Twitter lawyer Jim Baker, when general counsel of the FBI personally arranged a meeting between the FBI and Michael Sussman. In this meeting, Sussman presented fabricated evidence in the Alpha Bank matter. Elon, this is who is inside Twitter. He facilitated fraud. And Elon just says, sounds pretty bad. And I'll just now then he also posted Truth Social is currently beating Twitter and TikTok on the Apple Store. So I don't know if that's indicative of him wanting to bring Twitter up above that, like he's saying that shouldn't happen, or if he's just again prodding the left with this because this is of course
I,
Trump's new platform.
yeah, everyone's running it to Truth Social. I think, but I don't know. In a way, I think he's saying that both the left and the right are afraid that of what he'll do with Twitter. So people are running the right's running to Truth Social.
Yeah.
I really think that the reason Truth Social is number one is that most people already have Twitter and TikTok on their phone, and
Mhm.
there's been so much talk about Truth Social in the last 2 days. Everyone's just intrigued by what it is.
Yeah. Hmm.
But we'll see.
Definitely. I do feel to your point that there's a lot of tribal thinking that's being disrupted out there when it comes to Elon, right? Like both the right and the left is like, I don't know. Do I hate this guy? Do I love this guy? Like, what am I
I
supposed to
know.
do? Why is my opinion flipping back and forth from day to day?
I know.
He's an enigma, man. And we even have Dana here saying, Elon Musk, you should buy the History Channel and make it about history. Like,
I know. That's
I
right.
guess it's
Like to
just
make
like
everything real
this idea
again.
that all media providers are
They're
becoming
strayed.
like politicized or biased in some way or another, or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
Or
History
like
Channel, I guess, has become more of an entertainment like
it
channel.
has.
Like,
History has the learning channel is now just reality crazy shows, and MTV of course doesn't play music.
true. Should have added that too. And yeah, there's another one about Elon's opening monologue for SNL. To anyone I've offended, I just want to say I reinvented electric cars and I'm sending people to Mars in a rocket ship. Did you think I was also going to be a chill, normal dude?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He liked that? Yes, it's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. People are angry at the non-chill, normal dude. I think I
And
really
that
think like back to that point, I think it's creating a lot of confusion for people and they just don't know what to think. And so it's
they don't
like
know.
I I'm confused, so just cancel them. You know?
It really is. It's like there is I'm just shocked at how many people are like this reaction
Yeah.
against him. I've two people I've talked to in the last day that are like, oh, I don't know. He's doing it for his own political gain. I'm
Well,
like, his
when you're
political gain.
inundated in your news feed with like every headline, you probably whether it's good things or bad things, you don't even want to hear about him anymore, you know?
Yeah. They're like he's gonna run for president. I'm like, he can't, and he's too busy. He doesn't have time for that.
Yeah. Oh boy. So I don't know. This was an interesting image here that was posted. Fortunately, this is in the past now, at least for Twitter. Change was necessary. So we've got the Joe Rogan Experience emblem there in the middle. And we have here's an example of Twitter's left wing bias. We have to take the context into consideration. Twitter's interpretation of the context is affected by their left wing bias. I would need to see an example of that and just an endless cycle of this.
He'd loop.
So
It's
here's
crazy.
another example of I think prodding the left here.
I
Now here's one where it's like I don't know what am I supposed to think here. This is
haven't
Fox
seen this.
News reporting on a trans woman who is supporting Elon Musk. What do we do? My
I don't know.
I'm
He like
getting
this?
mixed
I don't even know.
emotions.
Is it Elon like?
Yeah, he did like this. So
All right. Well, I don't know.
Fox News reporting Caitlyn Jenner says that the left is scared to death and she backs Elon Musk as his Twitter deal sparks a liberal meltdown, saying this
Yeah,
is
I know
about.
she's an anchor at Fox News now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah,
Uh, this is about money, power, and who's in control of the information flow here in our country. I am 100% behind Elon Musk and what he is doing. Hmm.
all right. Well, there you go.
We need a platform that
he,
is truly
he liked
equal.
it.
This also got a like.
Two. He gave two likes for Caitlyn Jenner.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Anyone that gives him a like, he does it. Interesting to
Yes.
see how it's evolving, but it's interesting that he chose like the Fox News controversial area to like.
Yeah.
Oh, and here, getting away from the crazy news of Twitter, which really is just even this podcast today is divisive issues.
It's one little
We
nugget
have
on Tesla.
one back to the real world. Tesla dominates in the U.S. electric vehicle market in the first quarter. Tesla vehicle sales accounted for 75% of all EVs sold between January and March of 2022. Amazing,
Yeah.
75%. That's definitely domination.
That
I
is
mean, they're
pure
gonna have more
domination right there.
competition, but I am, I know that BMW has been coming on strong lately, and but I don't know how many people really buy those in the end.
Mhm. There was a big
Supposedly that,
presentation from Ford yesterday about the electric
yeah,
F-150.
I didn't get a chance to catch up what volume they're anticipating for the next quarter, but we'll be seeing. I know they're
Yeah.
rolling off now, so big
But
stuff.
but and not to mention that, a lot of the marketing either refers directly to Tesla or subtly to Tesla and Elon in some way or another. But of course, um, the masses feel that Elon is not leading this charge. In fact, even the president feels that way. So,
I
I don't know. It's interesting.
don't know.
Seems like we could all use a dose of reality.
Yes, that's right. Hopefully tomorrow's less Twitter, more Tesla and Boring Company and SpaceX. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
we shall see. Never a dull moment. Well, thanks for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Give us a like. Think about following us and sharing this content. And we'll be back tomorrow. Till then.